get the map, go to the markets. Take me to your Xbox to play Fortnite today. We can put the most denial that not to play. I feel enough to chat with you. We can play for Fortnite gamers.
kind of miss as we get into a build-up section. Will we see anyone finding any difficulties on these sliders? It's Xaver to find the break, and you now have the chance to come straight back into this match as they're now holding on to a very nice accuracy lead and also a massive combo lead. Only 30,000 points separates both of these players. And the score lead is just going to slowly go down. So you have a little bit more of a slow section where Andy can build up a bit more of his score. The score lead should be looking to flip over fairly soon. Just a little bit more of a slow section before we get into another KI section. And there we go, that's the score lead flipping over towards the side of Andy on this Hard Rock 4. It is a first pick, and it was picked by Andy, so you definitely do not want to lose your first pick. Put you in a pretty bad position for the rest of the match, but it looks like Andy is taking this one away already at 350,000 score. Xaver trading behind by about 70,000. And holding on very well to a bit more of an easier to combo section. Neither of these players really finding any massive accuracy or combo drops in that section. And we're going to some more slider jumps, and both players break on the exact same note. That's a completely even reset. This very much does favor the side of Andy. He's already holding a 130,000 point lead. Xaver finds a couple more misses, and it looks more than guaranteed already at this point. This Hard Rock 4 will be going to the side of Andy. Absolutely taking this one away. Early on, being a little bit behind the combo with that very early miss, about 200 combo win, but stealing it right back when Xaver did find a bit of an unfortunate break. And that truly does seal the deal here on this map. Xaver finding a couple more accuracy drops just to truly cement the deal now. And that is the first point towards the side of Andy. However, it is straight back to Xaver. The ball gets thrown straight back into his court for him to pick, and you'll see what he will go for. You might see potentially the protect coming in, the hidden 2, to try and get a quick guaranteed point. But we will see. Oh, and it's straight for number 1, going straight for that consistency. Both of these players faring pretty equally over the tournament on these number 1s. Xaver just a little bit ahead. Especially if you look at the qualifiers, Xaver just slightly ahead on the accuracy. Both players did FC the number 1 in qualifiers, so it should be a pretty interesting map, and should be quite close. Just as you can see the bans on the screen. Xaver opting for the Hard Rock 3 and number 3 ban and protecting the hidden 3. Whereas Andy goes for the number 4 protect and bans Hard Rock, hidden 3 and hidden 4, I believe. We're getting into this number 1 now. Picked by Xaver. Generally seems a bit more of a coin flippy map, but also Xaver just very good at these maps. As we're seeing in the qualifiers, getting second on the map, I think just a couple thousand points behind the first seed, so should be a very good pick. But these accuracy drops might actually matter, considering both of these players are very comfortable at number 1s. So want to ensure you drop the least amount of accuracy possible, and Andy is currently ahead in that department. With even a couple more accuracy drops off, Andy's still finding off that singular 100. So I thought that accuracy lead is starting to play a little bit of a part for the side of Andy, but we're still only about an 8th through the map, so still a lot more to go. Let's say we're settling into the map now. Not really finding any further accuracy drops, but the map will be decided by the fact if anyone misses in the first couple GIs. which we are now getting into these more space jumps at 200 BPM. Will any player falter on this? And he's still holding into that singular 100 while Xaver still dropping some more accuracy. But both players looking very, very comfortable, not finding any further breaks or any breaks at all to be spoken of, so... Looking still pretty good for the side of Andy. Reggie, 20,000 score lead just based off that accuracy alone. 1.5% accuracy lead. Still another half of the map to go. A little bit more of an easier combo section, although definitely still missable because at the end of the day, it is a number one. You can miss either on the 4-star jump or on the 7-star jump. It's just an absolute consistency test thrown straight at you for about 4 minutes here. And Xaver with even a couple more hundreds there. And as you can see, that's really starting to pull the score lead further and further towards the side of Andy. And he's still holding on to 1/100 here. Very, very good accuracy, actually. A bit more of a simple map, but still, a singular 100 this far into the map is very, very impressive. Xaver keeps finding more and more accuracy drops, but nobody breaking. If either of these players break, it will just spell absolute disaster. None of these players want to break at all. An absolute high roller lobby here. Getting to some of the harder jumps in the map, they've dropped some more accuracy, but both players are holding on to the all-important FC. Now the break comes in. Both players will see the scores and they will know if they miss, they will not fare well in this map. And you're just not faltering at all in that accuracy. Getting into the final tag section, the final 8th of the map where the jumps really start picking up. And Andy finds a break, but Xaver breaks straight afterwards. And now, I think that might spell the end here on this map. That is a very early breakpoint by the side of Andy. But Andy finds a break on the slider. Will this change anything? I don't think so. Only 35,000 points in it. And Andy stealing away the first pick by Xaver here. In a very, very close fashion. Only 30,000 points separating them. They might have gone like a 5 combo difference between each other. 3 combo difference. They were slightly out-comboing Andy, but just not faring up well in the accuracy department. And Xaver, only that slider break, so unfortunate. But Andy stealing it away and going 2-0 up. But now he has a chance here to convert this break point and get a 3rd point on the board. But an absolute high roller lobby there. Both players above 800,000. Just only missing right at the, I guess, the tail end of the final KI section. And now since it is back to Andy to pick, we might potentially see the Protect coming in and just trying to get the breakpoint consolidated. Just go straight for that number 4, but no, Andy does opt for the double time too. Opting for the 258 BPM tapping map, which again, they are also very evenly matched on. This is a match of millimeters, where every little drop, every little accuracy drop really plays a major part in this, as we did just see on that number 1. And also that hard up 3, if it wasn't for that early break from Xaver, it would have been a completely different story. So, again, all these maps have a really great chance of being very, very close. We're getting into the 3rd map of the matchup. Will Andy be able to convert it, or will Xaver be able to answer back and clap back with a breakpoint of his own on this double time too? Early on, let's see who'll settle better into this map, who will find the least amount of accuracy drops. We only have a couple of finger control sections at the start. Xaver dropping a little bit more accuracy compared to Andy, but again, shouldn't really matter as we're just starting into the map, and that exactly what we're seeing here. Accuracy's completely stabilized now. And no one really finding any breaks on these finger control, neither on the burst or sliders. And Andy finds a pretty significant accuracy drop though. Will this be another map of absolute millimeters, or will Xaver be able to pull out a dominant breakpoint win? Early on, it looks like it will carry on being a match of millimeters. Every little minute detail will matter. And Andy just about went into his combo. It's only a 5,000 point difference between these players, only being separated by the accuracy alone. And as mentioned, this was always going to be a close match, but to this extent, it's just absolutely incredible. Both players still holding to an FC, and only 1,000 points separates them at the halfway point in the map. 0.07% accuracy difference. Who will come out ahead? Who will be the first to falter? Who will be the first to stumble? Xaver seems to have a little bit more discomfort with the finger control in comparison to Andy getting into the second half of the map. But we're getting into a build-up section. Will we see any breaks on these sliders? No, but Xaver finds a bigger accuracy drop. And that is starting to prove a kind of policy for him. 20,000 points in deficit in comparison to Andy. And both of these players are just looking so comfortable on this though. No one finding any sorts of difficulty. And the final break in the map, going into the final quarter, 15,000 points is the difference in between these two players. Who will take it going into the final TI section? Will we see any breaks? Xaver drops some more accuracy. Just the final finger control section to go. It is all down to Andy dropping accuracy or finding a miss. And Andy is starting to drop a little bit more accuracy. Will Xaver be able to take this? It is so close, only 10,000 points in it. Both players to FC with such similar accuracy. 3,000 points now. Andy finds some more accuracy drops. It's literally a game of 2 100s here. Will Xaver be able to take this? Oh, Andy just about clutch it out. It's only 3,000 points. And oh my god, Xaver takes it by 2.3 thousand points. What is this? What did I just see? I just have no words for this. This is a game of pure millimeters. Almost nothing separating these players, as we have seen in the previous 2 maps, not the previous 3 maps. What is this? All that separated them was a singular 50, and Xaver able to clap back on that DT2 and just about squeeze out that breakpoint. Now going straight for the hidden 2, which is a mod pool we definitely do expect Xaver to pick into up against Andy. Of course, Andy definitely absolutely no slouch on the hidden 2, but definitely Xaver is the one to be more favored on a map like this. And wow, I have absolutely no words to describe how close this match has been so far. You had no mod 1 being an accuracy battle, and now you also had that double time, I believe it was 2 being an accuracy battle, so super close here, an absolute high roller match. But it is to be expected out of both of these players. At least they're seeding 3rd in the qualifiers and Andy seeding 7th, so very close. Here we go. This is a chance for Xaver to really stretch his legs here. Will Andy have an answer to this? Not historically known as the best hidden 2 player, but it really doesn't seem like Andy's gonna have a great time on this, and Xaver's already pulling out significantly ahead. And yeah, Xaver just holding on to his combo, but still holding on to his combo. Hold on. This can still be interesting. Will we see a complete combo game from Andy? Xaver holding on to the significant accuracy. 15,000 points is the difference. And it's all down to that accuracy. Andy really having significant difficulties reading this. And Xaver finds another break. Hold on. Will Andy actually be able to contest this? Just absolutely combo game as we get into the first PI. And the score lead is just barely sitting towards the side of Xaver, but Andy finds the break, and at this point it should really just start falling apart. As Xaver has such a strong accuracy lead, and I don't really think there's anything Andy can do to contest it. Unless we see Xaver finding some significant repeated breaks, but Andy's the one to break next, and I think it really does feel the deal already here. We're running a thought into the map, but you can see very clear comfort difference, and it is looking very dire for the side of Andy. But who knows, maybe we can see Andy pull off another massive combo to contest Xaver. But it is not looking good. And I think it is pretty safe to say now, as the score lead reaches 55,000, that Xaver will be consolidating the breakpoint and getting back on even terms with Andy. So that hidden 2 being that protect for the side of Xaver, so to be expected to have such a comfortable win on it. But the question is, will Andy just go straight away for that number 4? Or will we have something else saved for us? Hold on, the combo's very even, but as I say that, Andy does end up finding a break. And Xaver is just running away farther and farther with the score. Already doubling Andy's score. And I think it's just a question of how large the score gap can widen. Xaver just kind of giving up there. But I don't think it should matter. I think at this point, the only way Andy can win is if Xaver just stops playing completely. But that early combo game from Andy was very, very impressive and kept him very much in the map. And he's still holding on to that combo. As I say that, he does find a break, but still very comfortable win here for the side of Xaver. Just closing out the map now. 280,000 score, I believe that might be just about an A rank for Xaver. Yes, just clinching out that A rank and having slightly higher combo, but then again, that initial combo from Andy was very, very, very impressive. And getting straight back into Andy's pick. And given the fact Xaver picked into his protect, will we see Andy also picking into his protect, or will he opt for something different? Maybe he might opt into a hard rock as well. And he also, for the protect, that no one for. And just looking straight out of qualifiers, these players were very, very evenly matched on the number 4, literally only having 100 points separating them. I don't know if we'll see the exact same story we saw on that DT2, where it was only 2,000 points, I think, separating both of the players. But I think it still has a great chance to be very, very close. getting into the 5th map of this matchup. Andy picking into his Protect and looking to get back on the board after losing 2 points to Xaver on the trot. Just no mod 4. Virtual Throne, Simulated Universe. Honestly, I really like this song, and the first break coming in already by the side of Andy. So, all it was Xaver holding that slight combo lead at the start. Considering this has been a game of absolute millimeters, will this break be very costly, or will we see Xaver fighting a break later on in the map? The accuracy has always been very contested between these two players. Sometimes Xaver playing slightly ahead, sometimes it's Andy playing a bit ahead. But early on in this map, it looks to be Andy the one ahead in the accuracy department, but Xaver, of course, with that all-important FC, still about 100 combo ahead, but Andy looking very good on the accuracy, which is keeping him very much in this, and keeping the score lead at only about 3,000 points at this moment in time. And neither of these players faltering on some of the flow aim here. And the accuracy has slightly shrank now, only about 1.8%. It was about 2.5% earlier, and as you can see, the score lead is now further and further in Xaver's favor, sitting about 20,000 now. Oh, and Andy with a massive accuracy drop, really allowing Xaver to accelerate that score lead. 40,000 points what separates them, going into the first break of the map. Both players will be able to see their scores, and Xaver, all he has to do is hold on to this combo now. He knows that Andy did find an early break. It is Xaver's point to lose at this stage, but the map does only pick up in difficulty in the second half. But before that, we do still have a little bit of a build-up before we get into the next guy section. And it really just allows Xaver to stretch his legs a little bit more. And will we see Xaver find any break? And Xaver does find the break just before the next guy section. And then he holds through all of the flow aim. And now he steals away the score lead. And it is now Andy's pick to lose at this point. We only have a quarter of the map left to go. Score lead ballooning in his favor as he's holding on to that 900 combo, that very early break. And look at it, already 100,000 points separating them. And I think Andy will be sealing the deal on this pick. Xaver finding some chain misses, and Andy just proving to be significantly more comfortable in the second half of the map. And Andy pulling off the famous Apraxia method, missing very early on, only to FC the rest of the map, and it definitely did work out for him. Over 800,000 points, and a very solid pick on the board. 3-2 to Andy, but straight back to Xaver to tie this match back up, not let Andy get any sort of momentum going in the second half of this match. And Xaver answering straight back with a number 2 pick, so very, very quick picks, not really much to think about. Andy asking why he has the map. So, maybe just a bit of banter, or he might just actually be sight reading this. But again, considering what we did see on something like the DT2, this might be very, very close still. They are kind of different style of maps. DT2 did focus a little bit more on that finger control tapping at a bit of a high BPM, whereas this focuses a lot more on your, I guess, a bit of your stamina and flow aim at 208 BPM. And we are getting straight into this number 2 now. Getting into the first stream of the map, neither of these players really finding any difficulties. Settling in very, very well. And we'll just see another case where a map is decided on the accuracy. Or any of these players find a significant drop early on. These early streams will be quite telling. And both players looking very equally comfortable. Xaver only finding a couple more accuracy drops in comparison to Andy. but we're only a quarter of the way through the map, and the difficulty does only pick up as the map goes on. Getting into the actual PI section now. Will we see any breaks on some of the spacing? The flooring looking very good for both of these players. Xaver finding some more accuracy drops off. Andy is holding on very strong to that almost 99% accuracy FC. And there is no way we're going to see another map decided by accuracy. Surely not. It is very much looking to be that way though, as Xaver does recover some of that score lead now, sitting at only 38,000 difference. And Andy does look poised to take this, but again, one miss will completely decide this map. But right now, Xaver will need Andy to at least find a very significant accuracy drop on the next stream section, which we're now kicking it off to the true diff spike of the map. Will we see anyone find a break? Andy looking so strong at this, but so is Xaver. Both of them assessing these streams. They're finding a couple of accuracy drops as we get into a little bit more of a tricky pattern and rhythm section. And Xaver is the first one to falter. And Andy steals the point away from Xaver and wins that breakpoint, that all-important breakpoint, putting him 4-2 up and getting another FC on the board. And it really did look like it would be another map decided by the accuracy, but Xaver just slightly falling behind at the end with a couple of misses, which allowed Andy to accelerate that score lead and absolutely take this point. And honestly, so far, a very strong showing by both of these players. Both of them looking very comfortable overall, and Andy's clapped straight back and goes for that double time 3. So opting for, this is the more stamina focused map. Middle Queen Bee, an absolute classic song. I feel most people who, I mean, have been around in the game for maybe about a year or so should know this song at least, should know roughly what to expect. And yeah, this map truly does test your stamina. Considering what we did see on that number 2, will we see Andy pull ahead, or will we see something similar to what we saw in the DT2? A complete accuracy battle going down to the very end, only being decided in the last couple seconds of the map. Getting into DT3 now. And this point will be decided by who drops the least amount of accuracy, I'd say, because this I can definitely see being a complete accuracy battle. Both players have shown to be very comfortable on this VPM tapping all throughout the match. So it is down to Andy to showcase his accuracy prowess. But so far, early on, it's looking to be Xaver the one to have that accuracy advantage, but as I see it now shifts towards the side of Andy. But soon enough, we'll get into some of the longer streams in the map, which should be the telling factor. And Xaver did actually find a drop very early on. That is not good if you're cheering for Xaver here, a third of the way through. And Andy's still holding onto that accuracy and combo lead. We get into the square streams. Andy's dropping quite a bit of accuracy, but holding onto the combo. But both of these players looking very evenly matched. It is only that early drop separating them. And Xaver just faltering behind on the combo. The accuracies are dead even, but 100,000 score lead. It will come down to if Andy finds a break. What he needs to do is just hold on to this combo. But Xaver definitely not out of this just yet. Xaver's now falling further and further behind on the accuracy on these doubles. So the finger control does also definitely play a factor in on this map. And the tail end is where the stamina test truly does come in. If you've played the auto rank section, you know how this map goes. And here we go, getting to the longer streams. Some more finger control coming in, and Xaver is still holding on pretty well, but Andy is still on that FC, and I think at this point, it might just be over. Xaver finding another break, and Andy holding on to another FC, potentially, unless we see a very unfortunate break. But Andy was an absolutely incredible showing this match so far. And does close out the FC and goes 4-2 up. Sorry, 5-2 up and goes to match point already. Consolidating that break point. But it is time for Xaver to pick and try and get some momentum going once again. But he will need to win 3 points on the trot to bring this to at least a tiebreaker scenario. And at this point, do you just opt for the other hidden left in the pool? Oh, where else do you go here if you're Xaver? Very difficult to call. There is that number 5 as well. Yes, and we do see that number 5 getting picked by Xaver. So Xaver trying to get back on the board with this number 5 pick. And this is such an important point, because lose this and you're out. You are down in, I believe, the loser's bracket, since it is a winner's bracket match if I'm not mistaken, so Xaver not out of the tournament just yet, but you definitely don't want to be going down in this tournament. And yeah, this is a winner's bracket match, so Xaver will not be out if he does lose this, but being in the loser's bracket is not where you want to be. Will Xaver be able to steal this one away, or will Andy be able to close out the win and take this match 6-2? And Xaver fighting a very early break. Just not able to settle into the map that well. But this map will test some of your speed, I guess. It shouldn't be too stamina focused. These bosses, I don't think, go over 16 nodes. But Andy has proved to be just a bit more comfortable in the tapping today, as shown in that DT2, DT3, and the number 2, just coming out ahead in every single one of those maps. And early on, it is just that combo break from Xaver separating both of these players. But the accuracy lead is in the favor of Xaver now, which does keep both of these players in for sure. Map definitely not over. Surely this one won't be decided by that very early break from Xaver. Yeah, I've seen so many accuracy wins already in this match. Surely we won't see another, and it doesn't seem to be the case with Xaver. Does find another break, which just allows Andy to stretch his legs further and to increase that score gap. Already at almost 100,000 points and looking to be so comfortable in this. And unless we see a break fairly soon from Andy, it might be over for Xaver here. We do still have a third of the map to go though. Both players on the... seeing each other's scores. Maybe now will start to play a part for Andy here as we get straight back into the map. But Xaver is the one to falter straight after the break. And really just struggling to settle into the map once again. As Andy is holding onto that FC, almost 99% accuracy. And look at the score, just accelerating farther and farther. We're at 200,000 points. A couple more repeated breaks from Xaver will just truly seal the deal. And Andy will be advancing into the winners semi-finals here. Of ANZT13 Winter, so... Will he be able to close out the FC though? That is the most important question. Having such an incredible showing so far in this tournament. I think I've seen 4 or 5 maps in this match. Absolutely incredible. And looking to close out another FC. Oh, okay. Just finding a break on the final side. Or the Ruruchi method. But yes, GG, well played. Andy taking the win. And advancing into the winners semi-finals. Xaver not out of it though. Going down to the losers bracket semi-finals. But very well played from both of these players. Andy just showing to be a little bit further ahead. And Xaver just finding a couple of very unfortunate breaks all throughout the match. But yeah, I think that will be it for this matchup. I do think we do have quite a few more matches in this weekend, so make sure you do stay tuned for that. But that's it for now. And we will see you in any future matches. Thank you very much, everyone.